Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Paddling Pool 209. We are heading into our second set of the tournament. Top floor bosses versus Shard. And while we're waiting for them to get into the lobby, the map's gonna be Clamblitz Inkblot. Stormy, what do you think of that?
Clever's Inkblot. So back in the last game, I thought it was a fine map, but I did hate how very like snowbally it tends to be. But now in this game, it just seems like you can barely even like score on this map. I mean, obviously you can like easily score and obviously KO, but like now in this game, it's harder to score. The clans be non-existent on that map. Like it'd be hard to find clans on that map. I can't tell you how many times we'd be like, all right, it's time to go. Where the clams, and then we just can't find no clams on the map. It'll just be non-existent.
This is going to be an interesting map to really start off the set, and we'll kind of lead into Splat Zone's Manta and the Tower Control Haggle. And these two teams, both of these teams are pretty high level, I've seen. So we're going to be seeing a really high level set going in here with top floor bosses and Shard. And this game can go in either favor. I know a little bit about top floor, I think it's top floor bosses or Shard. I know a bit about one of the teams, but I have no idea about the second one. So it's going to be a really interesting set to watch. I mean, Clamblitz on Inkblot, it's a map where if you get control of the enemy's bats, it's so huge for pushing because you can literally basically touch the basket and you have access to everything. And I've seen people who will go into bats and then they'll take the pity clam and they'll jump to their teammate and they'll be right on bats. Boom, you throw that clam right into the basket, and that starts a push where your other teammates can start funneling in.
Yeah, especially with that Kraken special, if the team does elect to pick a 96, which is probably the only mode to where you will see Kraken cheese on, as they did have that tower control nerf. But yeah, like you said earlier, high level set. I know a lot of these players, and we're just going to go right into it as we speak. So this is groups round two. In this, we're going to groups two single elimination. I do see the comps come out here for the side of. And we see a pretty much typical comp. We see double splash with that machine and that stamper. And then we do see the carbon roller with a stamper and the junior with that T. Like a very interesting comp coming out there on the side of Shard. But top four bosses electing to stay traditional with what is true to the meta.
And right away, we do see one of the splashes get the pick off the stamper. That's going to be great to start off the game here. With the stamper going down, another T-Tech going down here, but no! It looks like the carbon rushing it right in, taking out that splash there on the side of the top four bosses. And now with two down, we're kind of at a middle standpoint here. We do see the machine pushing right onto their base, getting a pick on that stamper, but they're just trying to throw him out. Here comes the Booyah Bomb, but they're going to really need to start gathering clams if the machine can stay in this right position here. And they're going to get thrown off with the Booyah Bomb and then into the Tri-Strike. But now the machine is getting triple teamed. They're going to get taken out there. And with two down on the side of the top floor bosses, Shard is going to get a chance to take the map and just start pushing.
It didn't look that good for Shard at the beginning, but they were able to battle back and hold a strong defense there, able to push out the members of top floor bosses. And top floor bosses still have that mid control and special advantage, but the clan economy still not in their favor. One power clan on the side of Shard boss looking to probably get a push going. They're going to try to take control of the left side with this carbon. The carbon able to get a pick there. It's going to try to follow up on it, but not able to get much. The machine looking to punish that as it does. But as it coming out as well, will also end. So we see specials flying left and right here, but nobody really doing much with it. Like I said, very stalematy map compared to its predecessor, compared to its preform in Splatoon 2.
And now with that bubble, they're able to counter the crab there, but right away! Where did this guy come from? Rushing it right into the baller, and now it's just that carbon alive there, and the machine taking them out. Top floor bosses can now gain control of the map with the carbon down now. They don't have to worry about the carbon.
Bro popped out like a Monty Mole and was just like, what's good? And just ultimately just shut down the push single-handedly. So nice job on there from the side of top four bosses to keep that push from even happening. It looked pretty good there. So now it's their turn to start up a push. And the machine shucking here on the left side is not what Shard wants, but they are able to get a pick there. The carbon able to find 2 picks, 3 picks now. Able to completely wipe out, actually, inside of top four bosses. Are they able to make a power climb and get the push going? The Sharks coming in are going to be able to help assist. Here comes the tries. They're able to get a pick there on the stamper. What a nice pick. And are they able to get the clams? They are able to get the clams and able to get that one power climb in and maybe a little bit more match.
And they're able to start off that push there, but the crowd is not letting them have it easy with the T-Tech going down there. The Carbon trying to shark whatever they can. They're taking out the splash, but the Stamper's going to take them out now. And Shard's going to be forced to back up here. And top floor bosses are able to get a few clams off of this. And the Stamper pushing right into their base, trying to get whatever picks that they can. But the T-Tech coming in here, but they do take out the T-Tech just in time. And with the bubble coming in, blocking them off, the Zipcaster coming out there, and they're going to be able to get another pick. And this is a chance for top floor bosses to push down. Now that the Junior and Carbon's down, it's just that T-Tech alive. It looks like top floor bosses can get a push off of this.
Bro said moon breeding, thunderclap, and flash, lightning breeding, first form, demon slayer on this Stamper, able to find some picks, able to get the push going. But do you see what I was talking about before this set started? It's really hard to gather clans now on this map, because earlier Shard had a complete wipe and it took them forever to build a power clan, and that's because of lack of clans you can find here on this map. And sitting with top 4 bosses with a bunch of picks like that, and back in the old game, that might have been a KO or all the way down to like the single digits, but now it's very hard to do that as there is a lack of clans on the map. But we're going to see a duel here from this Carbon and this Stamper, and the Stamper is going to be forced to jump up, but not before taking somebody with him. What a nice job there.
Now the machine just trying to hang on there. These Stampers were definitely watching Demon Slayer before this sort of end. And Shard, they have a chance to push up to the Carbon, taking out one of them. And now this is the chance for them to push in here. But with the Carbon, oh Jesus, the Carbon getting that pick off of U-Snipe, pushing in right and trying to take whatever they can out. And the machine goes down from top 4 bosses. Excuse me. And they're popping the triple ink strike. The Carbon pushing up right. They want to take out that Stamper. They know that they have to. And they're able to get that first ball in. Both of them take almost barely not take lead there. And with a wipe on Shard in with just 30 seconds, they don't have much to push back with.
This Carbon has plot armor, has Bankai, just able to just always rush in and get what he needs to do. Well, not right there at all, but it's going to push him right there. They're going to be able to get a push going on the side of the top 4 bosses. They're going to throw that power clam in to the basket, it seems, to get something going here. They're all going to take matter of fact, they're not even going to try to score here. They're just going to kill the members, take their time, and then ultimately close out this game, which is what you should do. Commend top 4 bosses for their patience there, not rushing to score the power climb in, or decided to take their time, take out the members of Shard in order to close out that game very, very calmly.
They were just able to keep their patience right, and top 4 bosses played that match so perfectly, and they're gonna take first game of the set here. And Shard, they need to win these next 2 if they really want to win round 2. But top floor bosses, they were just able to keep it together, and that the Stampers were going crazy. And especially with that Zipcaster, able to get that pick off of bats really gave them that moment to push. And top floor bosses is looking pretty strong right now.
I haven't been paying attention much, but I do know that Burst Bomb got like that nerf to where it's like, not instead of 40% of intake, it's 45%. So I do wonder what gear the Stampers are running now. I wonder if that changed at all. I should have been paying attention during the game, but I am curious because it seems like they weren't really phased at all by these nerfs. They're still doing what they normally do best. But even then, even if they weren't phased, you can still see it coming to play a little bit. You saw a couple of times that Stampers tend to run out of ink, because of that little burst bomb nerf. So that their combos and their constant burst bomb throwing isn't really like, you get what I'm trying to say here.
But going into zones of Manta, this is going to be really interesting to see. Is if they run Stamper again, they're going to be a little bit off of paint, so they have to be careful with what they're using. And I think both teams are going to stay on machine, but Stamper I'm not so sure about, because Stamper, it doesn't paint too much, but it's just so good for getting those picks and rushing them with Zipcast, and we might even just see it again because of that sole purpose.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a new combination I saw between the Stamper and the Carbon. But when you have a junior player, you can make it work. And it almost paid off there. Just ultimately just didn't work out in their favor, unfortunately. But with Spasmos Manta Maria, one of the new maps, now this map is bigger, wider, a little bit more space, less compact compared to Inkblot Clam. So I do wonder what they're cooking here, because as we can see for the side of Shard, they're not readying up at all. I think they're really planning on what to do here. Maybe we'll see a weapon change here. Maybe the Carbon won't come out here because there's a lot of space here. I don't think the Carbon wants to be running around in this map.
They could use it. I mean, it'd be great for taking over bats, and bats is a point on this map where you just have a high vantage point, and they could easily use that to their advantage. But it all matters on how they play their points right. And going into this game, to top floor bosses has a good chance of taking this, and they are bringing out that Stamper, but Shard opting not to and bringing out the Junior End Splash.
Indeed. So they're going to put a little bit more safe here, getting rid of that Stamper for a more paint-heavy weapon, which makes sense. It is flat zones. But we're going to see the same coming out here on top floor bosses, as they are going to try to hold a top floor and be the bosses there on this map here on those graves. But the machine does go down. Two go down very early for these side top floor bosses. But the shots here are going to help them stall out just for a little bit longer before they can see control of that zone.
And now they're able to get that short lead here, but now the T-Tech getting the trade with that splash, 2 down on both teams. Shard able to keep the zone in their favor here, but the Stamper just trying to keep their zone capped there. And they are going to get somewhat damaged there, but they are going to be hanging on. The splash, but gets taken out by the Zipcaster.
Yeah,
And the Junior is forced to back out. That's going to be huge, and top floor bases are able to take that zone. The Zipcasters has been insane. They're able to just take all that control there, and with the strikes coming out there, that's going to be huge. And with the tri-strike out from the side of Shard, they are trying to push back in here. But the Crab staying strong and 3 down on the side of Shard, and top floor bosses is able to keep that zone.
They just seem to be completely locked out right here. We see the Stamper is still over here causing a little bit of damage, causing a little bit of chaos. Oh my god, your local neighborhood Spider-Man and local Demon Slayer as well, just ultimately causing managing you snipe there on that Stamper is amazing. Able to take out a lot of members there and cause mass chaos. But they are able to get it picked there on that splash and gonna try to push back in. But it just seems like there's too much control on the side of top for Boston to get pushed back in and lose sort of that zone. They're going to try to keep control of their side of that zone, but they will apply that 57-point penalty that they also desperately needed. But the crab take is still right here. It's causing mass problems for them, and ultimately will get themselves taken out there.
And now they're just playing this so perfectly well, and with just the Junior alive, top floor bosses able to keep the zone in their favor. And with 3 minutes, Shard has to think of something if they really want to push back in. They still have a really high score plus that penalty, so they have to play this so perfectly well here. And the Stamper just staying strong, getting whatever picks they can. The Carbon getting taken out in there, and there goes the Stamper. And with 2 down on this side of top floor bosses, this is a chance for Shard to cap the zone.
But the crab take coming out here on that top side is going to be able to slow them down and ultimately keep control here and not give up any penalty points there. So they're going to recap that zone and also try to push back in. But one of the splashes does go down, but it is just the T-Take left alive there on the side of Shard. And this game looks pretty much done if they able to keep control. And there is another nice pick there, using the fall off of that machine there to find that pick. And now they're going to start taking down on their points. And with a buoy bump at the ready, it doesn't look good for Shard, Matt.
They have that Zipcaster, and they get that pick off of the Carbon, and with the Tri-Strike out, that's going to be it really for their specials. And there comes a Booyah Bomb, the Tri-Strike, and 2 of them being forced to try to paint on the left. It is not looking good. They're trying to paint that zone, but the KO coming through, and top floor bosses is going to win this set 2-0 over Shard.
It just basically sensory overload at the end. Just throw a Booyah Bomb onto the zone, try and strike them into the corner, just force them into. They just ultimately force them into positions they did not want to be in throughout that entire game. You want to talk about dominance, talk about U-Snipe on that Stamper, able to basically force them in those positions. U-Snipe got a lot more value at the Stamper more than intended, ultimately having the rest of the players on each side of the top 4 bosses push the other players in a position they did not want to be in, and that is just what happens.
And with a great bet coming out from top floor bosses, that's gonna be huge. And now heading for the next game, we could be seeing some really good plays. And we've already seen some excellent plays coming out from the Stamper this set and the Machine from last set. And it looks like we're gonna be, I believe we're gonna be taking a break.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't go too far. Get some water, like we got. I don't actually have water. I have juice, but
go hydrate, idiot. Anyway, don't go anywhere. You are watching Paddling Pool on Dapple Productions.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold